Hey guys, the Sony Xperia X has been out for a couple of weeks now. Other than the extremely obvious name change from the Z to the X, Sony has remade a couple of things, and if you're considering of picking one up, here are 10 things you should know. First, the X sports a more rounded, less rectangular look. There's a 2.5D curved glass display that transitions off into its new rounded, bevelly edges. We feel this makes for a more comfortable handling experience compared to its blocky, rectangular Z series predecessors. 2. The glass at the back is gone. It's replaced with a brushed metallic matte aluminum finish. Less of all that shiny, glossy goodness at the back, yes, but it also means less fingerprint smudges. So we'll kind of settle for that. 3. Now let's head on over to the side. There is a hybrid nano SIM card tray with a second SIM card slot capable of holding a microSD card up to 200GB. Most recent phones sports these features, so it's no surprise seeing it on the Xperia X. 4. Let's go on over to the other side now. The power button also functions as a fingerprint sensor now. This makes it really nifty for things like screen unlocking with your finger. While fingerprint sensors are nothing new, we have to stress that this functionality only exists in the Singapore model. The US side does not have it, and we hear they are kicking up a really big fuss about it. 5. Going further down the side of the phone, we find that the dedicated camera button, a legacy from the Z series, is still around. Sony still has every intention of making phones with a strong focus on camera, and we're feeling it here. 6. And that feeling is more so even felt with its 23MP f2.0 rear camera that comes along with a new predictive hybrid autofocus. While we found that the autofocus has its on and off days, the photos taken are pretty acceptable for flagship phone standards. 7. Well, this next is a really big X. The Xperia X is not waterproof. Which is a huge shame given the Z series impressive IP68 waterproof ratings. We kind of expected the X to continue with this functional design, but not happening. What's interesting to note that the X performance is waterproof though, but their model ain't coming to Singapore. So that's kind of a bummer. 8. The display, which used to be IPS, is now Full HD Super AMOLED. Sony consistently tops its display technology game, and the same can be said here with its triluminous display technology bringing out sharp, vibrant images that's kind of reminiscent of early Samsung Super AMOLED phone screens. 9. USB 2.0 still remains as the choice of connection, and if we are thinking of changing from other Type-C connection phones, well, you better get used to it. 10. Xperia X comes with Android Marshmallow, and we kind of noticed a couple of features we liked, most noticeably Tap to Wake. Last seen on the Z3 Tablet Compact, this common feature of double tapping the screen to wake the device for things like notification checking exists across phones like LG, HTC, and even Nokia. So it's a rather pleasant surprise to find it making a comeback on the Xperia X. It's not switched on by default, you have to access settings to enable it. Check out our review article listed below on how to. Lastly, we have a +1 to the 10 points, and it's kind of interesting. Going for a price of $848, it's certainly not difficult to say that the Sony Xperia X, it's kind of well priced above what the phone offers, especially if you consider the Snapdragon 650 processor that comes along with it. It is interesting to note that the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3, which has a similar processor, is going for $299. Perhaps it's not totally all about price point and specs. The Xperia X is a pretty decent rebrand for a flagship series phone, with the new design that stays true to its core focus on functional design and mobile cameras. As with always, do check out our full in-depth review of the Xperia X at hardwarezone.com.sg, link below in the description, and we'll see you next time. Latest.